Welcome to Flashback Tracks. Travel back in time each Friday to an era of big hair, leg warmers, and Walkmans.
Far out.
Veg out with some clips from Downtime Broadcasting's promotional audio cassette magazine from the 80s and 90s, right here on the World Wide Web.
The feature is entitled, Once Upon a Circus.
Who among us has never wondered about how life must be in the circus? Just imagine the many roles that various buyer and seller groups in specialty advertising might occupy if we were to cast the industry in certain circus acts. Take a lion and elephant act, for instance. I wonder how it might unfold. Well, with the help of your imagination, let's take a look at a ring. Here we are, looking down from high in the crowd. The ring itself represents the medium of specialty advertising. Within this ring, and lumbering about in no particular fashion, we see a majestic group of elephants, which represent specialty advertising end users. Now, the end user elephants appear quite calm, but are easily spooked and thus capable of bolting the specialty advertising ring at any time. We also see standing in the center of the ring an anxious and young animal trainer whom we know as the new supplier on the block. His objective is to get the end user elephants to do what he would like, buy his product, or in this case, simply move around the ring in an orderly fashion. In order to promote this interest, the supplier trainer introduces supposedly trained lions into the act. The lions represent newly recruited distributor salespeople. Now, the basic conflicts at work here are 1, the eager salespeople, lions, tend to make end-user elephants nervous, and 2, the big cats are also very likely to view the novice supplier trainer as more of a potential meal than as being in command. As a result, the lions mill aimlessly about the ring, ignoring the trainer's exhortations to mount and ride the elephants. What's a trainer to do? Reacting naturally, he reaches for his whip, cracking it sharply above the lions' heads, startling them briefly. While this action does make considerable noise, it does not result in any appreciable desired action on the part of the salespeople lions. So, lacking success with this effort, the trainer drops his whip and draws his pistol to better get the attention of his lions. Firing blanks over the heads of the by now yawning big cats produces an impressive combination of noise and smoke, but generates precious little response. Oh, the salespeople lions do become a little agitated, running about in one direction and then another, occasionally even leaping over the backs of an end-user elephant, but with no great enthusiasm. As for the pachyderms themselves, they begin to stamp and trumpet with uneasiness and appear about to quit the ring of specialty advertising altogether. Finally, out of sheer frustration at this lack of success, the supplier trainer abandons his macho props, the whip and the pistol, replacing them with a much less threatening tool, a sturdy wooden chair. This supporting prop is also called his supplier rep. Confidently thrusting his rep chair into the mouths of the salespeople lions, it is quickly splintered. Is it any wonder that supplier reps claim to be on the cutting edge of the industry? Frankly, the situation is looking hopeless from where we sit, when suddenly, from out of the ring, a juggler in whiteface dashes to the supplier trainer's rescue, skillfully manipulating 3 flaming torches. Then, placing aside his firebrands, the juggler sprints in turn to each end-user elephant, patting and praising them and offering each a handful of peanuts and a banana. Just as quickly, he moves to the salespeople lions, speaking their names with authority and throwing each a hunk of red meat. The beasts thus tended to, he is seen scooping up the remains of the rep chair, handing them tenderly to the supplier trainer as if for repair. Tipping his imprinted cap to the well-intentioned but simply overzealous trainer, the juggler retrieves his still-blazing torches, leaps onto the lead elephant's coiled trunk, and shouts his name. Go, Samson! As if on cue, the end-user elephants begin lurching around the ring, trunks to tail, while the salespeople lions enthusiastically leap to the backs of the pachyderms, performing amazing feats of balance as they ride atop their mounts. The juggler then completes his crowd-pleasing act, bowing to the supplier trainer and gracefully exiting the specialty advertising ring with animals following in perfectly synchronized order. The trainer brings up the rear, grinning from ear to ear. As one, the appreciative audience all around rises to their feet, wildly applauding and gasping, who was that masked juggler? He or she was, of course, the distributor, who simply illustrates that whether end user, salesperson, supplier, or distributor, no one wants to be taken for granted, commanded, or ignored. We all ask only to be understood, fed, and recognized by those with whom we labor and would grow.
Travel back in time with us next Friday as we share more clips from the 80s and 90s on another rad episode of Flashback Tracks, exclusively on Promo Corner. Time to bounce.